really cool. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like we should use and pass on kind of like information,
Yeah.
even if you don't practice it, right? Kind of like writing it down to the people. I mean, maybe it is written down, and there's a lot of
Yeah,
information
books.
out there.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of books in
Stretching.
Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, because I mean, every tradition has kind of like something, some type of medicinal work to it, and I want to find kind of like the connection between them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so far, the connection I've gotten so far is the connection with the fascia, the awareness within the body, the vitality and strength that you get from the movement when it is intentional. Right? So right here, think of pushing down into the ground, right? You feel that hamstring. Feel the hamstring as you lean to the side and you feel that oblique. How is your lower back going?
Well, I work a lot and my hours are long, so yeah, it still bothers me. But I know I need to do more stretching than whatever you teach us here. I need to do more or make more time for it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't make enough time for me, so yeah, I need to do more. I can't say better, but I know the technique that you're teaching, so I can do more.
Yes, yes, and you can do that pretty much with anything that is sort of stiff and in a bed even. You know, because the bed just pushes down. It's just a matter of you laying into it and just allowing yourself to be relaxed in that sore tender area, right? So we could actually kind of do that right here with our quads. We could think of pushing down. Do you feel any tender spots? Kind of stay. The legs should be, the quad should be relaxed at this point. And feeling that tenderness, you're in a sense resetting the muscle. It'll then give you more capacity to contract that muscle and build strength further. This happens when we use our muscles just naturally. They'll become over fatigued, or when we run into injury that I mentioned before. We could go focus on one and kind of use the palms, like the palm strike, inward. So this becomes kind of like an upper body exercise, because we're pushing inward, feeling kind of like a connection, because we really want to dig in as much as we want in. If there is some pain, it should not be pain. Understand? So coming in, there's some tension. Stay within that tension. Take very deep breaths, because what you're doing is you're manually contracting the muscle. And if you work on your VO2 max by breathing as deep as you can, as slow as you can, it allows you also to relax, be in this moment, so you can feel it further, so it can be relaxed, it can be released, that tension. Right? This is what that's what we're talking about when we're talking about fascia release, releasing the tension within the fascia. And this is a journey that you have to do kind of consistently, kind of like as consistent as your movement exercises, right? Your building strength exercises. This should be like the yin and yang concept. If you train hard, you must rest hard. And this is that resting hard. It's being able to kind of like find the meditation within the muscle release. Use your knuckles too to go deeper in some areas. The quads go through a lot through the day. They're always being engaged whenever we get up. And usually, because another culprit here, the glutes are not engaged often, right?
Yeah.
And because the glutes are not engaged, not only does the lower back suffer, but the quads and hamstrings. Well, the hamstrings, those are other pair of muscles that are always tight. Everyone has tight hamstring muscles, right? The reason for that is because there's tightness in the hips. So the hips are connected from the knee all the way up towards the glutes. But if our hips are tight, we're not engaging our glutes properly, and if our glutes are not being engaged, the quads are being over engaged, and the hamstrings are just dead weight. If they're not being used purposefully, kind of like because their purpose is to bend the knee, right? So let's do a little bit of that. Let's wake the hamstrings up, right? Let's bring the toes towards our feet. Okay. Feeling that connection with the tibialis right there. And then bring the heels towards the glutes. And hamstring connection. And plus, if you feel the glute connection as well, right? Glute and hamstrings work together to get into that position. Feel those things pushing down with your hands at your knees. You're going to feel that core activate. From this position, as you're finding that inner strength from the lower body into the midsection, let's bring it up to the upper body by bringing our shoulder forward, feeling that connection with our obliques, feeling that connection with our rectus spinae. What I'm doing is kind of reaching towards the side, because then I won't have leverage over here, towards the side, and I'm kind of helping myself twist further. And heal a lot of cracks from me. Just my body readjusting to the movements. And so you're finding that strength, right? You're building that strength in the adductors as well as the hamstrings and the glutes, while you're bringing that strength upward into the upper body. You can feel that in the lats. You can feel that in the rear delt right here. You can really focus on that if you think of pushing out, but also locking the elbow. If you lock the elbow and take the tricep out of the equation, right? Because if you're doing this, then you have more tricep. But if you have straight, then you're using the muscles above the tricep, which are the rear delts. And the way we do that is to just straighten that elbow. You feel that in the back of the shoulder. If you really twist, you're gonna really feel that oblique as well. Let's give that a little break. Yeah. Let's work on some hip rotation and external. Even think of leaning back. And as you're doing so, you're pushing down.
I love this exercise. I really need it.
Yeah. Right, because as you push down into the ground and you're leaning back, you're feeling that glute connection. And out. And as you push inward, right, you feel that connection, the inner thighs. As you come outward, you're going to push out. You feel more on the heel glutes. And as you do so, right, you're going to think of also getting the chest into this equation by rounding the chest. If you can round the chest and push inward, you're going to feel that connection. And then as you come out, exactly, you bring the chest forward, you feel that connection with the back. And again, when we build the strength in these muscles, I have this theory that you're just going to be able to decompress your spine, but also like readjust the muscle. Like you hear the many cracks that I have, it's because I feel kind of like a resistance, and then I push beyond that resistance, and then I feel kind of like a relief, like my energy is flowing more freely. This is very linked with the breath. And ideally, when you're exercising, whenever you are constricting the body or having your hands come forward, pushing exercises, or your feet forward, or you're curling the body, kind of like this, you want to breathe out. And when you're opening the body, and you want to breathe in. It's going to feel natural. People ask me, as a trainer, how should I be breathing? And it's basically the best thing you could do because it's the most natural for your body to do. Every exercise has concept of breath. Although one thing that I have noticed is when it comes to body rotation, twisting exercises, they really get the wind out of you. And interesting, I was watching today. I was looking into tornadoes. I was just looking at their power because I've really been interested in the concept of, I think I mentioned last week with the cycles, the wheel, but then the wheel going forward, the spiral, spiraling inward or outward. And it's kind of like just this concept of forward progression, always improving, always evolving. That's something that I'm really aligned with. I have been pretty much just as far as I can tell that I did something with my own free will and intention. It has always been to improve in some way or realm. Never stagnant. So we see how like these big exercises, they get kind of like, they build the awareness so that all these other movements can help you build strength when you feel that resistance. It's always about finding that resistance, right? We come here, the elbows down and back, hands back. Keep our elbows right here. And we're going to come out as far as we can. We can feel that resistance, that natural resistance of the body. And then as we come upwards, our resistance, you're going to feel more in the back. So try to bring that hip forward a little bit. As you come upward, you feel more and more on your lower back, on your upper back. You can think of all these muscles right here as kind of like the upper body glutes. You know, if you were standing on the ground, they would have to be very strong, very stable, all these muscles, for you to be able to be in a handstand. Now let's come forward, around, breathing out, pushing down to the ground. I'll just bring this concept to the beginning. This concept of the high and low. Let's go for a twist. And we're going to alternate it. And we're going to come the opposite way. And again, this twist teaches us to, as we move for a block, always keep the hands in the center. Right? While the feet rooted will help us strengthen the midsection, twisting moment, twisting motion. So one thing that I will say is, as you come inward, right, scroll like to your center, and then breathe in, and then as you come outward, and breathe out. And it's kind of how we want to deflect energy in a sense, right? Imagine there is something coming to me in this direction, and I'm over here, and what I'm doing is taking it in, guiding it out. Taking it in, guiding it out. Energy in, energy out. this is how we can guide energy, right? Rather than manipulate, I like to say guide, because you guide where it's going to go. You guide it inward and outward. And that way, your deflect or your parry doesn't have to be a fight against that energy. It's a guiding away from you. And you're guiding with your entire torso, so you have the stability of your upper body. Yesterday I was teaching another client about, because he likes to practice with swords, and that's a great way to train your hand strength and your forearm strength. And I was telling him kind of like the way he likes to swing was kind of like a bat, right? So using a lot of upper body. But when I was playing lacrosse with a friend, and I was really getting the motion of it, because the motion of it, you can't toss it like a bat or you will drop the ball because of the swing, the backward swing. So it has to be kind of like stable unto the last moment. So you have to kind of move the entire body and then kind of like pull back at the last second so that it has kind of like a projection, right? And so that reminds me of like the punch, the way we punch, right? This concept. And if we can take this like guiding, you see how you can just put that into a punch. Guiding that energy away, right? And that way you can get that energy from the ground or from the lower body, essentially, and come forward, right? Because when that twist is going, and I was showing him how when you do that, you're using not the upper body strength by itself, like you would with a bat, but you're using, right, instead of hitting it with the upper body is stable, and the movement is coming from the rotation. See from this. So this kind of rotation movement, and it's the same movement we were doing earlier right now. It comes from the rotation of the torso, and ultimately that power will come from the twist of the torso. So as we move very slowly, you work on the end range position, but we want to keep the stability throughout the motion, like in all of our movements, right? So if we have good posture, if we have good awareness with the ground, the grounded, we feel that connection of the oblique the entire time. This is ideally what you want. You want that awareness of the entire earth spine, of the glutes, of the core. And then if you can bring that awareness up through the body and up into the hand as well, right? Because if you have it soft, right, that's a way to get energy in. But then a way that you want to project energy is coming out and really feeling the awareness of the hands as you kind of open the hands as wide as you can and almost twist them, right? So if you do that, you're working on two types of muscles. One deals with the external rotation, right, of the wrist, and then one deals with the strength of the hand as you're trying to open wide, but also kind of like hold something. And so you feel that fatigue go throughout the hand and the wrist as you come this way. And if you can do that kind of like towards the end on either hand, this also type of movement goes into the push, right? And for the push, it's like you're bringing it in. That was very audible. So coming inward, as in like bringing the awareness into the forearms, into the hands, and then coming outward by bringing the hands and the fingers towards the face. And as you're opening up, feel that resistance and that power. And suddenly all those animes and shows with the energy and the ki and the aura makes sense. Because if you're building this much strength with these movements, to an onlooker that has no idea what's going on within the body, they're going to be very surprised at your strength, your capacity. You're going to think that it's otherworldly. It is just within the body. And including when you're pulling in and you're pulling out, you kind of want to almost feel that connection again with the shoulders, right? So as you're bringing things in, you're kind of bringing the connection with the back. And as you're coming forward, you're bringing that connection of the chest by rounding the back. And you see how much force you can then be able to foster and generate. Now let's think of slowly coming up. And you're going to feel the erector spinae, the shoulders, and down, very slow. Try to feel the intrinsic muscles of the abdomen all the way up to the upper back. Right, the movements of the shoulder and the arms are rooted in the core, which is that upper back and the mid back. Try to bring the hands as far back as you can. Feeling those muscles, feeling that resistance, and pushing beyond that resistance. That'll help you engage the core, which then you want to keep engaged on the downward movement. So you should feel the upper back and all the way down. And then keep that connection as you're coming down slowly. feel that all the way here, all the way into the center of your core. That's the core. Right, that's really a great way for me to show you, because this range position, right, under load is very difficult for the body. So in order to sort of imitate that, mimic that resistance, you want to come as far back as you can, and you're going to feel that resistance that you would if you were pushing down on something, right? You feel, you see what I'm trying to say? Kind of like if your hands were on something right here and you're trying to push downward, that's the kind of muscles that are engaged. You're trying to consistently hold them there. And then keep that connection, keep that contraction very intensely as you come down. How does your low back feel with this one?
I like it.
It's good.
Yeah, I feel like I'm stretching my back.
Nice.
I'm sitting like this all day.
Yeah, you need these movements.
This
Yes, these movements. Coming up and down. Using the core, strengthening the core. Because the weight of the hands will help, you know. Just that's all you need. Just a little bit of the weight of the hands and the natural movement of the body. Let's kind of do that with the legs as well. Let's bring the legs out. And we're going to think of pushing way forward and squeezing the foot, engaging every muscle, right from the toes to the quads, to the glutes, to the hips. Think of holding the chair, holding onto the chair. Kind of like raising one a little higher than the other. And it's just something that you have access to anytime. You have your legs, you have your chairs. And it's something very intense that you can be doing. Coming in here, feeling that range of motion, feeling that resistance. You can think of kind of like externally rotating and then internally rotating. And coming inward, pushing your feet towards each other. I'm doing it with my toes. You can do it with like your feet as well, or just your entire foot. But I'm working on strengthening the toes, so pushing very intensely. Feel all those intrinsic muscles. You can do so with the upper body as well. Coming this way, pushing against your own strength. The fingertips expanded. Also, what you can do is keep pushing, right? Keep pushing with the upper body. The legs are just relax them, but they stay in that position as you come up. Keep pushing.